The buzz about the constitution alteration bill to establish state police in Nigeria has kept many Nigerians talking, pondering, and analyzing the frameworks within which it will operate. Like you, I have my thoughts. But further than what we want, think, or imagine, there are facts to the purpose of this bill: enhancement of security across Nigeria, and that is one common ground for our divergent views. On this edition of Dateline 360, the proposed bill is our focus as we attempt to give clarity to those areas that appear blurred at first sight. I'm Omotala Omojola, and it is good to know you are tuned in. For many years, the Nigeria Police Force has carried the task of securing a population that continues to grow in size and complexity. As we look at the proposal to establish state police in Nigeria, security correspondent Yakubu traces the journey of policing in Nigeria, the gaps in the system, and why many believe the debate on state police has become part of the search for lasting security in Nigeria.
Before amalgamation in 1914, communities across the regions that now make up Nigeria depended on local guards, age grades, hunters, and traditional rulers to enforce order and resolve disputes. Colonial administration later introduced regional constabularies, which gradually evolved into a central police system. Following independence, the Nigeria Police became a national institution under the control of the federal government, with responsibilities for internal security across the country. Since then, Nigeria's population has grown from about 45 million at independence to well above 200 million. Yet, recruitment into the police has not kept pace with the growth.
When you hear police, the institution, the IG talk, they tell us their challenges, right? Talk about lack of manpower, no enough equipment, logistics, no enough trainings and all that.
The result is a police-to-population ratio that falls below international recommendations, placing pressure on available personnel and limiting police presence in communities, compounded by changing crime patterns, including terrorism, kidnapping, banditry, cybercrime, and communal conflicts requiring more manpower, technology, and intelligence gathering.
Well, you can see that most crimes are locally committed in the communities, and those locals in the community knows the perpetrators, knows the terrain, knows the nook and crannies. So it is very easy for them to assess, give information, and share intelligence.
Security analysts also point to trust between the public and the police as a factor affecting crime fighting. Where confidence is weak, information sharing becomes limited, reducing opportunities to prevent crime before it occurs.
There's need for accountability. There's need for transparency. And that is why most times I look at the National Assembly and I ask this question: are they truly carrying out oversight functions?
Successive governments have introduced recruitment exercises, training programs, police reforms, and building interventions to strengthen the force. The establishment of agencies such as the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps and the Federal Road Safety Corps has also expanded security responsibilities, allowing specialized institutions to complement police operations. Even with these measures, concerns remain over funding, welfare, equipment, and remuneration issues. And these are challenges many believe affect recruitment, retention, and service delivery. Another concern is the deployment of large numbers of police officers to provide security for political office holders and other individuals, leaving fewer personnel for community policing and routine law enforcement. These realities continue to shape the debate on state police.
State policing holds significant potential benefits for our country. By bringing law enforcement closer to the communities, state police institutions can deepen local knowledge of security, dynamics, and enable quicker and more targeted response to emerging threats.
Not minding the challenges that may arise from it, but I think with the Act, there are a lot of checks put in place so that any state that abuses the state police, the federal will come in.
Whether Nigeria retains a central police system or adopts state policing, many agree that improving manpower, funding, welfare, and collaboration with communities remain central to securing lives and property. In Abuja, Onotu Yakubu for DATELINE 360.
Now, Nigeria may be on the verge of its most significant policing reform since independence, and rising insecurity intensifies calls for a policing system that is closer to the people. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikpen examines the constitution alteration bill seeking to establish state police as passed by both chambers of the legislature. The intention, constitutional safeguards, and whether the fears expressed that governors may weaponize state police if they are justified are here explained.
The Nigeria Police Force derives its existence from sections 214 to 216 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, with operational command and control vested in the Inspector General of Police appointed by the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Nigeria's security realities have changed dramatically within the last decade, with growing insurgency, wave of kidnappings, and other threats to internal security. Poor funding, overstretched personnel, and delayed response to local threats across the Federation have also exposed the limitations of a single federal police structure, justifying a renewed clamor for state police.
State police is not something that is alien to Nigeria. We have had regional police in the past, we have had community police in the past, local government police. We have had practice all this. Then what we have not done is that we have not found out why did all this fail.
Already, the Senate and House of Representatives have passed the constitution alteration bills to create state police and provide for the administrative structure. The proposals do not abolish the federal police but create a dual policing system of federal and state police, with an inspector general at the federal level and commissioner at the state level. Critical clauses indicate that the federal police will retain jurisdiction over national security, terrorism, border protection, interstate crimes, cybercrime, and offenses against federal laws, while the state police will handle community policing, local crimes, enforcement of state laws, and internal security within their respective states. The proposals include provision for establishment of state police service commissions responsible for recruitment, promotions, and discipline, as well as legislative oversight by state houses of assembly to enforce operational standards consistent with national policing regulations. One of the biggest concerns among Nigerians is possible abuse of state police by governors.
If a governor can go and import arms to say, I am arming my state police, even if he has gone through the law, what do you think that the governor or his subordinates who work under him will have control? Don't you think they will have over control on the arms that has been imported to be distributed to the state police?
The Constitution is clear on what is on the exclusive list and what is on the concurrent list. Certain subject matters will not be handled by state police, while exclusive matters will be handled by federal police.
Funding remains another critical issue and is among clauses that need to be harmonized by the Senate and House of Representatives.
The president, after the removal of fuel subsidy, improves tremendously the funding for the states, and that's why you see certain things. I've heard one governor say that what he received in 2 years is more than what his predecessor received in 8 years. That means there's an improvement. It's an honest assessment.
The Constitution Alteration Bill for State Police has crossed one major hurdle at the National Assembly, but the journey is far from over. Like every constitution amendment, it must still secure the approval of at least 2/3 of 36 state houses of assembly before it can be transmitted to the president for assent.
We had to refine, remodel the policies and probably even the guidelines.
When enacted into law, the Constitution Alteration Bill for State Police will be one of the most far-reaching changes to Nigeria's internal security architecture since the return to democratic rule in 1999. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikpen for DATELINE360.
Along with anxiety and skepticism expressed in some quarters about state police is also the question of how it may impact policing structure in operations and what it means for national security. Security correspondent Francis Form examines the proposed division of responsibilities, matters of jurisdiction, and the safeguards designed to ensure effective policing.
Under the proposed framework, the federal police will retain responsibility for national security, terrorism, cybercrime, organized crime, border security, and other offenses that transcend state boundaries. State police, on the other hand, will focus on community policing, intelligence gathering, crime prevention, public order, and the enforcement of laws. Security experts say the two services are designed to complement, not to compete with each other.
State police would be good if implemented, like for instance, going to be implemented in phases. How it's going to start, the structure, the organogram, and so forth. I think it would be, I'm happy the IG2 took a very proactive action by sending a 60-page recommendation to the National Assembly, to get the National Assembly.
By the time you commit state police, there will be massive employment of young guys that are from the university, from others, who will be willing. It's just sensitization. And once we put this sensitization, and people know the importance of state police, my brother, it will come to pass.
Where a suspect commits an offense in one state and escapes to another, the federal police will coordinate interstate operations, while the affected state commands collaborate through an integrated intelligence and communication network, ensuring criminals cannot exploit jurisdictional boundaries. Analysts believe the introduction of state police will strengthen Nigeria's security architecture by improving response time, deepening community trust, and providing more effective local intelligence through officers who understand the language, culture, and the terrain of the communities they serve.
State policing is going to address a lot of things based on the peculiarity of our challenges. I am sure that local policing will bring about tailored strategies that would address the peculiarity of our challenges.
The creation of state police does not mean the abolition of the Nigerian police force. We remain as the Nigerian police force.
Concerns over political interference and possible human rights abuses have also been featured prominently in the debate. However, experts maintained that this risk has been mitigated through constitutional safeguards, independent oversight bodies, transparent recruitment processes, judicial accountability, and strict adherence to the rule of law.
Police is a security agency. The actions are based on established by law, and everything is based on professionalism. So it's not a section of the political party that the governor wants to control, to determine which commissioner of police reports to a state, which DPO reports to any division. The governor should distance themselves, and this unnecessary political control should be curbed and checked.
People like us that are there, we will be critical. When we see something wrong, we will go and tell the state, this is wrong. This is not what the Mr. President envisaged when he think about state police. And we'll advise them.
Technology is also expected to play a critical role. Integrated criminal databases, CCTV surveillance systems, drones, body-worn cameras, and other digital platforms are expected to enhance coordination, information sharing, and operational efficiency between the federal and state police services. While the transition will require constitutional amendments, enabling legislation, and far-reaching institutional reforms, the security stakeholders insist that a clearly defined chain of command, effective interagency collaboration, and strong accountability mechanisms will be essential to building a more responsive, professional, and people-centered policing system capable of addressing Nigeria's evolving security challenges. For Dateline 360, Francis Form.
Now, under the Nigerian Constitution, policing is the exclusive preserve of the federal government to make laws on its operations, in addition to other matters like defense, foreign affairs, as well as currency, in order to ensure national cohesion on such matters. Chukwunonso Nwabueze, in our next report, takes a look at the judiciary and interpretation of State Police Bill for the preservation of social order.
The ongoing alteration to the 1999 Constitution as amended, which now sets in motion the processes for the establishment of state police from the existing Nigeria police force, is one that is generating greater attention within the nation's judicial system.
I expect that by the time state police systems are created, that interaction between the investigation and prosecution by the police and the adjudication by the courts, it will be a bit more efficient.
Let us establish state police, establish the law. Over time, there will be amendments. There will be need to adjust here and there to meet up with emerging situations.
But can the emergence of state police impact the adjudication of cases?
There are going to be a lot of human rights issues, so the courts had better be prepared. At our center, we are setting up a hotline. And we're also providing platforms on the internet where people can report abuses of human rights by the police without leaving their location. And once we see such abuses, we engage lawyers. Please take this up. Take this up.
The idea of keeping custody of pieces of evidence, the idea of getting files from police to Ministry of Justice to the courts in a single state, that space has now been reduced. And what we hope will happen is that bureaucratic process will also be shortened. So on the administrative of justice side, I expect that there should be some net positives ultimately.
Good intentions of the bill notwithstanding, there are concerns over the possible misuse of state police.
When we start, let a governor abuse it, let politicians abuse it, then we will know how to handle them from there. And everybody will learn a lesson, and we will eventually have a perfect state police force in Nigeria.
There must be adequate mechanisms for controlling abuse of power by state governments.
Issues of boundaries and jurisdictions on an interstate crime is another aspect of the bill that will be requiring immense judicial interpretation.
I would expect that states between themselves and states and the federal government should cooperate to make sure that across their different state boundaries that you have a framework for interpolicing, and that comes with sharing data. That comes with sharing knowledge and sometimes sharing personnel.
In fact, it will not make the police to sit up, because that means before you can go to another state to say that you want to arrest somebody who has committed a crime in your own particular state, you must have done some little bit of facts checking, and you are able to obtain a warrant for its extradition.
There's always a collaboration between states. Today, I align with my counterparts in Ilorin, in Maiduguri, in Sokoto, in Abuja, even in Lagos, despite being in Ondo. The same thing, all these police, we come together. What matters most is that Nigeria must be secured.
Security, no doubt, is at the heart of social order. And without social order, democracy cannot thrive. However, beyond the use of the instrumentality of the law in ensuring social order, legal experts are of the view that all efforts and actions of government towards its maintenance must be defined by human development. Chukwunonso Nwabueze, reporting for Dateline 360.
That many states across Nigeria have experienced insecurity in one form or another calls for attention to the need for improved security structures. One of such states is Plateau State, where insecurity has persisted for over 2 decades. Ijoma Ozemena reports that the government of Plateau State has been pushing for the establishment of state police as a structural solution to enhance community policing. She also examines how this policing principle can improve public safety in the state.
In Plateau State, a committee on state policing has been inaugurated by Plateau State government as a structure to address Plateau State three major security gaps: proximity, knowledge, and accountability. This structure, when established, is to encompass state command headquarters, zonal commands, local government area commands, ward community units, which decentralizes the command and makes policing local. More so in addressing insecurity in the state, security experts say it will enable early conflict prevention as well as provide legal framework for community security. They are, however, quick to point out that the structure will only succeed in solving insecurity if it is backed by law, properly funded, and strictly monitored.
What training facilities do you have at the state levels that you think you are going to recruit them now and train them to the extent that they will be proficient enough to do those things for you and even handle arms?
What we need is a policing system that controls the behavior of our people in a humane manner for the established direction of progress for society.
Following the National Assembly's nod on state police, Plateau State House of Assembly pledges legislative backing for state police structure towards addressing peculiar security challenges in the state as the state constitutes advisory committee on state police. Also, to succeed under state policing, the proposed structure must be built on community integration, strict oversight and accountability, modern training and collaborations. Others say, with a structure on ground, they are expectant of an independent state police commission and human rights training to prevent abuses.
Community can easily relate with the police, which is part and parcel of them. So passing information, gathering intelligence will be done, in a better way. Secondly, if the police is within the community, responding to crime will also be better. So there will be faster response to any, issue.
I don't think we have fears about the state police because the state police are own subjects who have been recruited by either the state government or the federal government. They are here to work for us, to protect us, and there shouldn't be any fears at all.
State policing, the federal say, is not a total solution but a critical structural reform needed to complement efforts of the federal government to restore peace across the nation. For DATELINE360, Ijoma Ozemena.
Faced with a myriad of security issues that was strange to a state that is home to the simple and content, stakeholders in Oyo State weigh the potential for state police to address Nigeria's growing security challenges, particularly at the grassroots. Ayomiku Ajibola reports.
In Oyo State, this debate has taken on a new urgency as the state has witnessed a series of security challenges, especially the recent kidnapping of pupils and teachers, which has tested the capacity of conventional security agencies. Advocate of state police argued that officers recruited from the communities understand the language and terrain better.
The idea of local having a secure state police involving this set of people gives them sense of ownership, gives them sense of participation, and bringing them on board. They have a lot of roles to play, even if it's just for intelligence gathering. The local community leaders, tell them you are the chief security officers, traditionally, of your community. They know they have a responsibility. They know that when there are issues, they have questions to answer. Everybody becomes more conscious. So I think it's a good direction for us. This is a place we should have been years back. The non-state actors will collaborate with the security, the local police. They will collaborate with them, giving them intelligence and trying to know what they need to do at a particular time to curb a crime that's been committed by some group of people. And I think this is a good initiative from the federal government.
That means people that will be in the state police will be able to be speaking the language of that area. And so that will reduce the level of the crime very well.
This community policing that is trying to come up, there won't be problem between them and other security agencies that has been on ground.
With reference to the operations of the Western Security Network, codenamed Amatekun, community leaders say the existing community structures can form the foundation of an effective state police system if properly coordinated.
They can convert them to Oyo State Police because they have been doing good. They have been honest with us in terms of dealing with criminals.
Retraining and retraining, and they can absorb them into police training academy and all sorts of former military training.
As effective policing begins with the community, either through strengthening community policing or the eventual creation of state police, stakeholder believes that building public trust, improving intelligence gathering, and ensuring professionalism remains essential to achieving a lasting security system. For Dateline 360, I'm Ayomiku Ajibola.
We may be talking about state police, but coming from Oyo State, it is a good time to say a big thank you to all who collaborated for the release of abducted pupils and teachers of Orire local government in Oyo State. While we await decisions from the subnationals for or against state police, we hope only for the best outcomes in the interest of all. I am Omotola Mojola. On behalf of the crew, thank you for being there. God bless Nigeria.